All right, let's get real. Airport security isn't just about keeping you safe. There are hidden rules, secret codes, and sneaky policies most travelers have no clue about. Ever had a TSA agent scribble something on your boarding pass? Or wonder why certain people get pulled aside for extra screening? Spoiler alert, it's not random. But here's something even wilder. What if I told you some of those very agents, the ones supposed to protect you, have been caught red-handed stealing cash, electronics, even jewelry right out of passengers' bags? NBC News exposed shocking security footage from Miami International Airport, showing officers in the act. And trust me, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on what's really happening behind the scenes at airport security. From bizarre TSA policies to hidden fees designed to drain your wallet, there's a lot they don't want you to know. And let's start with this. TSA agents actually have way less power than you think. All right, let's clear something up. TSA agents aren't all powerful. They're not cops. They don't have unlimited authority, and they can't just do whatever they want. Sure, they can check your boarding pass, scan your bag, and direct you through security. But what can't they do? They can't force you to unlock your phone, demand your laptop password, or make you toss your passport in a screening bin. That's right, you can hold on to it at all times. And here's the big one. TSA agents can't arrest you. If they think there's an issue, they can call airport police, but they have zero power to put you in handcuffs themselves. So, next time a TSA agent tries to push you around, stand your ground. And if you're ever unsure, just ask, is this a requirement or just a request? You might be surprised by the answer. Let's get one thing straight. TSA agents are not allowed to hurt you during a pat-down, period. If you have a medical condition, sensitive areas, or chronic pain, you have the right to let them know and request that they be careful. They're not doctors, and they don't get to decide what level of pressure is necessary. One traveler actually had to stand her ground on this. She warned a female TSA agent that pressing too hard on her lower abdomen could trigger severe pain. Before the agent could even respond, her male supervisor butted in with, "She will use the amount of pressure she needs to." But the traveler wasn't having it. She shut him down immediately. "No, she won't. She is not allowed to physically injure me." And guess what? The supervisor backed off. The female agent ended up asking if she could use light pressure, and everything went just fine. Unfortunately, not all passengers have the confidence or the knowledge to push back when TSA crosses the line. The New York Times has reported multiple cases of travelers feeling unfairly treated or even harassed during security screenings. These incidents have raised serious concerns about the professionalism and ethics of some TSA agents. While most agents follow protocol, there are undeniable cases of misconduct that have left passengers feeling violated and powerless. So here's the bottom line. TSA does not get to cause you pain, no matter what. If you ever feel uncomfortable or mistreated, speak up. Know your rights. You don't have to just accept it. Think TSA is just focused on your bags? Think again. They're not just scanning your luggage, they're watching you. Ever heard of SPOT training? It stands for Screening of Passengers by Observation Techniques. And it's exactly what it sounds like. TSA agents are trained to analyze your body language, looking for signs of suspicious behavior. And here's the kicker. What gets you flagged might surprise you. Avoiding eye contact? Fidgeting? Sweating a little too much? Looking nervous? Boom, you're on their radar. Sounds ridiculous, right? I mean, who isn't a little nervous going through airport security? I've flown hundreds of times, and I still get that little rush of anxiety when I step into that line. What about you? Ever felt that TSA-induced panic? Let me know in the comments. Emotional distress can get you flagged for extra screening. And here's something even crazier. TSA might pull you aside just for looking too emotional. Crying at the airport? TSA might think you're up to something. One traveler leaving Greece after visiting her partner was visibly upset. No alarms went off, no contraband in her bag, yet she got pulled aside for extra screening. Why? TSA flagged her as a potential trafficking victim or drug mule just because she looked emotionally distressed. A young woman traveling alone, looking visibly distressed? To TSA, that's a red flag. In their eyes, she could be a victim of human trafficking or even a drug mule. Luckily, the officers were professional, and she was cleared. But here's the takeaway. Acting overly anxious, upset, or nervous can get you flagged for extra screening, even if you've done absolutely nothing wrong. So, next time you're feeling emotional at the airport, maybe take a deep breath and try to keep it together, unless you want a little extra TSA attention. Ever noticed a weird scribble on your boarding pass after a TSA agent checks it? That's not just random. Most of the time, it's just the agent's initials, nothing to worry about. But if you see 4 little letters, SSS, get ready, because that means you've been flagged for extra screening. What does that mean for you? A full-body pat-down, a deep dive into your bags, maybe even a longer wait before boarding. TSA is going to take their sweet time making sure you're not a security risk. And here's the thing, you won't even know you've been flagged until it happens. You could be casually walking up to the gate, boarding pass in hand, and boom, TSA pulls you aside for a more thorough check. So here's the takeaway. Always check your boarding pass after it's scanned. If you see SSSS, just know your airport experience is about to get a whole lot longer. All right, this one is wild, but totally true. Ever walked through TSA and felt like agents were whispering about you? Well, they probably were. TSA has secret codes for passengers, not for security reasons, but to comment on you. Maybe they think you're attractive, maybe you're on their nerves. Either way, you'd never know. Ever walked through security and noticed 2 agents exchange a glance while looking at you? Yeah, that wasn't random. They could be signaling that you're a problem, or that you just caught someone's eye in a way that has nothing to do with security. So next time you're at the airport and feel like TSA is talking about you, you might not be paranoid, because they probably are. TSA agents aren't exactly known for their sense of humor, especially when the joke is on them. And one traveler learned that the hard way. While waiting in line, he saw a woman with a cat in a pet carrier. When TSA told her she had to take the cat out for screening, he casually joked, "What are you gonna do? Give it a CAT scan." The people around him cracked up. TSA, not amused. For the next 3 flights in a row, he was mysteriously pulled aside for random bag searches. Every single time. Coincidence? Maybe, but it sure seems like TSA wasn't laughing. Lesson learned, don't joke with TSA. Unless you enjoy extra screening, it's best to keep the humor for after security. Think TSA is strict in person? Wait until you hear what they were saying online. In 2019, a secret TSA Facebook group with 18,000 members was exposed, full of agents mocking passengers, making racist jokes, and even talking about harming travelers. And we're not talking about harmless complaints. Some posts were straight up offensive, full of racist comments, threats, and even jokes about harming travelers. Let that sink in. The people in charge of airport security were using a private forum to mock and degrade the very passengers they were supposed to protect. This wasn't just a few bad apples. Thousands of agents were in that group. And the worst part? Most of them kept their jobs. So next time you go through security, remember, just because someone's wearing a uniform doesn't mean they're professional. You're not going to believe this. But before 2013, TSA body scanners didn't just check for weapons. They showed agents a full-on naked image of every passenger. Yep, everything. After public outrage, because seriously, who thought that was a good idea? TSA was forced to switch to a less invasive system. Now, instead of seeing your body in all its unfiltered glory, agents just see a generic outline. But the fact that this was even a thing? Absolutely wild. Makes you wonder, what else have they done that we don't know about? Ever had something go missing at airport security? Don't expect TSA to take the blame. Their official policy? Not our problem. Even if an agent breaks your laptop, cracks your suitcase, or accidentally sends your expensive headphones into the abyss, they're not responsible. Now, technically, TSA does allow passengers to file claims for lost or damaged items during screening. But don't get your hopes up. The process is notoriously slow, bureaucratic, and often ends in rejection. Many travelers have reported that TSA either denies responsibility outright or offers compensation far below the actual value of the lost or damaged item. Even when passengers have proof, getting reimbursed can take months, if not years. Now, check this out. TSA agents have been caught stealing before. Yep, some of them have been busted swiping cash, electronics, and even jewelry right out of passengers' bags. NBC News released security footage from Miami International Airport showing TSA agents caught in the act, rummaging through passengers' belongings and stealing money. Meanwhile, CNN reported on multiple cases of TSA employees being fired for theft at major U.S. airports, including Miami, Orlando, JFK, and Los Angeles. According to their investigation, passengers have lost valuables such as cash, watches, and electronics, often without any clear recourse. These incidents raise serious concerns about the security of passengers' belongings, not just from external threats, but from the very people meant to protect them. To make matters worse, even if your TSA-approved lock is intact, it doesn't mean your bag wasn't tampered with. If TSA opens your checked luggage, they're supposed to leave a notice inside. But there have been countless reports of missing valuables with no note left behind, raising the question, who else had access to your bag? Moral of the story? Keep your valuables locked up, avoid putting anything valuable in checked luggage, and don't trust TSA to replace anything they break or steal. And if TSA does damage your belongings, file a claim immediately, document everything, and don't settle for their first lowball offer. Oh, you know how TSA loves to say we're not responsible when something gets lost or broken during screening. But if they destroy your stuff, you can file a claim. Just be ready for a fight. One traveler had their iPad crushed inside a scanner when another item got caught in the conveyor belt. When they filed a claim, TSA's first offer? A laughable $99, nowhere near the cost of repairs. It took 2 years of pushing back before they finally got fully reimbursed. And the real kicker? A TSA agent at the scene denied the whole thing ever happened until multiple witnesses backed up the story. Yeah, unbelievable. So, what do you do if TSA damages your stuff? Well, first, file a claim immediately. The process is slow, so don't wait. And don't forget to gather proof, photos, receipts, witness statements, anything that backs up your case. And listen, don't take the first offer. TSA will try to lowball you, push back. It's not easy, and yeah, they definitely don't make it fair. But if you fight hard enough, you can win. Feel confident your checked bag is safe and secure? Don't be so sure. TSA scans every single checked bag, and if they spot something suspicious, they will open it. And here's the thing. They can cut locks, rip through plastic wrapping, and physically search about 5% of all checked luggage. Now, here's what you really need to watch out for. If TSA opens your bag, they're supposed to leave a little note inside. But if your lock is broken and there's no note, well, that probably means someone else, not TSA, went through your stuff. Yeah, not exactly reassuring, right? So, how do you keep your checked luggage safe? First, use a TSA-approved lock. That way, TSA can open it without breaking it. But thieves? Nope, they're out of luck. And listen, never pack valuables in your checked luggage. Keep important stuff in your carry-on, where you can actually see it. Oh, and here's a pro tip. Snap a photo of your suitcase before you check it. If it gets damaged or tampered with, you'll have proof. And if something does go wrong, report missing or damaged items ASAP. The sooner you file a complaint, the better your chances of getting compensated. At the end of the day, you kind of have to assume your checked bag isn't safe. Because, honestly, most of the time, it isn't. With people rushing, TSA security bins moving fast, and dozens of hands grabbing their belongings all at once, wallets, keys, or phones can disappear before anyone even realizes it. It happens faster than most would expect. To protect valuables, start by placing them inside a carry-on bag before even getting in line. This helps prevent items from being left behind or snatched in the chaos. Use a quart-sized Ziploc bag for pocket items like wallets, keys, phones, and loose change. Placing that bag inside a carry-on makes it easier to retrieve everything after screening. When traveling with others, stagger positions in line. One person should go through first to keep an eye on the bins, while the other follows afterward. For solo travelers, consider sending less valuable items like shoes and liquids through the scanner first. Valuable items like a laptop or wallet should go in the last bin so they spend less time unattended. And here's a useful rule of thumb. The only thing that should come out of the carry-on at security is the laptop. Everything else is safer when it stays packed. Less hassle, less risk, and a smoother airport experience. Just when you think you're in the clear after security, the airport hits you with another way to drain your wallet: baggage fees. You book what seems like a great deal on a flight, only to get to the airport and realize you're paying extra just to bring a bag. And if your carry-on is slightly oversized, that'll cost you even more. Here's how to avoid these unnecessary fees and keep your money where it belongs. First, measure and weigh your bags at home. Don't just assume your carry-on will pass. Airlines have gotten strict, and even an extra inch or a few extra pounds could mean a hefty fee. Second, check baggage policies if you have connecting flights. Just because your first airline lets you bring a larger carry-on doesn't mean the next one will. The stricter airlines rules always apply, and if you're caught off guard, you'll be stuck paying up. And finally, prepay for checked bags online whenever possible. Many airlines offer a discount if you pay ahead of time, rather than waiting until you're at the check-in counter. Airlines count on travelers being unprepared, but with a little planning, you can avoid these surprise charges and save yourself a lot of frustration and money. Ever had that mini heart attack at the gate when a flight attendant asks you to test your carry-on in the sizing bin? You shove, you push, you pray, but somehow it doesn't quite fit. Here's the dirty little secret. Some airport sizing bins aren't even the right size. That's right, some of these bins are actually smaller than the airline's official carry-on dimensions, meaning your bag might meet the stated rules, but if the bin is even a little off, you're suddenly paying to check it. So what can you do? Measure your bag at home. Know the airline's official size limit, and if your bag meets it, stand your ground. If a gate agent tries to force you to check it, politely but firmly, let them know your bag is within the airline's published guidelines. Because let's be real, some of these rules feel more like a money grab than a real necessity. Don't let an inaccurate bin cost you extra cash. Ever had a run-in with a rude TSA agent? Got treated like a criminal for forgetting to take your laptop out? Yeah, don't expect them to get fired anytime soon. Here's the deal. Once a TSA agent makes it past their 2-year probation period, they're basically untouchable. Complaints? Most of them go straight into the void. Rude behavior? Unless it's extreme, nothing happens. And actually getting fired? That only happens if they do something seriously illegal. Not saying all TSA agents are bad. Some are great. But if you've ever wondered why some of them act like they're on a power trip, now you know. They don't have to care, because nothing's gonna happen to them. Some TSA rules actually make sense. No one wants dangerous items sneaking onto a plane. But let's be honest, some of their policies feel like pure power trips. Confiscating nail clippers, random pat-downs for no reason, making you toss a full-size shampoo bottle but letting you bring the same amount in tiny bottles? So what do you think? Are TSA rules fair? Or are they just a headache? Have you ever had a ridiculous experience at airport security? Drop a comment below and let's hear your best or worst TSA stories. Look, after everything we've talked about, you might think TSA is just out to make your life miserable. But believe it or not, sometimes they actually have a sense of humor. Ever seen their Instagram? It's full of the weirdest things people try to sneak through security. Nunchucks, swords, even a horse, an eagle, and a whole turkey. And the best part? They caption it all with dad jokes that are so bad, they're actually good. The truth is, most TSA agents are just regular people doing their jobs. They don't make the rules, but they do have to enforce them while dealing with frustrated travelers all day. So while TSA has its flaws, not every agent is on a power trip. That said, don't push your luck. If you want a smooth security experience, play by the rules, keep your cool, and avoid doing anything that could turn your checkpoint visit into a full-blown disaster. And if you want more travel tips and hacks, make sure to subscribe. Safe travels, and I'll see you in the next one.